Hey guys, it's Mike here, and the new trailer for Dragon Ball Super Broly has finally come out, with this being the third and I believe final trailer to be released for the movie. Now, so far I've liked the previous two trailers, and I do have some excitement for this movie. It does look really good so far, although I do have some issues here and there with the premise and some other things that we've seen revealed. However, the past two trailers have done a good job of selling the movie, at least to me. So how does this trailer hold up compared to the previous two? Well, without further ado, let's get into this breakdown. So the trailer begins with an explosion, as many great trailers do, with Super Saiyan Blue Goku emerging from within. We then see that Super Saiyan God Vegeta is doing battle against Broly, and he seems to be on the defensive here. And this is going to be the first time that Vegeta became a Super Saiyan God within the continuity of the anime thus far, so it's going to be pretty cool to see him in action, as we do in this trailer. And then we see that Broly is becoming full of rage and powering up, likely ready to battle the two Saiyans. We then see a shot from the previous trailer in which we see Frieza is preparing to destroy planet Vegeta, and interestingly it looks like in this scene he's wearing his armor and seems to have a slightly different design from the last trailer. Maybe this is from a different perspective, or maybe they changed it after the reception from the last trailer, so it does seem pretty odd that they changed it. However, it does fit in better with the continuity, so I don't really mind it as much. Then we see the three fated Saiyans, Goku, Vegeta, and Broly, all as infants or at least toddlers, and once again I'm trying to wonder if maybe they're trying to tell us through these trailers that now Goku, Vegeta, and Broly have been retconned to be the same age, which is going to be pretty weird since Vegeta was always presented as being older than Goku, but that's just one of the changes we're going to have to get used to as the continuity develops. Then we see another shot we've seen in the previous trailer in which Goku is facing off against Broly in this Arctic area, and with that new cool jacket of his flying off into the wind, and Broly coming down from the ship once again, so there's a lot of shots we see here from the previous trailers. Additionally, we also see a new shot, which is pretty cool, of Broly opening up his mouth and firing a mouth blast, which is pretty interesting since usually it seems like monstrous characters in Dragon Ball, like Piccolo, and some other villainous creatures we've seen over the years fire blasts out of their mouths, so I guess that's something they're giving to Broly now, but it looks pretty devastating. Then we see a new shot of Broly powering up, followed again by shots we've seen previously of Goku as a Super Saiyan squaring off against base Broly. But then we see an extended version of that scene in which we see Broly blasting Super Saiyan Goku up into the sky. And then we see again Super Saiyan God Vegeta charging towards Broly in his base form and punching him in the face, and they pull a real Dragon Ball Z move here when Vegeta punches him and it has zero effect, which is something that always makes a fighter look extra intimidating when they do that. In that moment, Vegeta realized he messed up. And then it seems like Broly is responding with a punch of his own, which I'm sure is a lot more devastating than what Vegeta dished out. And then we see an interesting callback to the original Broly movie, as Broly is taking Super Saiyan God Goku and smashing his face along the side of a glacier, which is reminiscent of what he did to Super Saiyan Gohan in the first movie. And it looks pretty devastating here, so I'm sure we're gonna get a ton of callbacks in this movie. And then we see Golden Frieza in this shot, who is saying, "You dare to push me to these lengths, do you?" So as it would appear from the trailers thus far, it seems as if Frieza encounters Broly before Broly comes to the Earth, and perhaps they strike up some sort of deal so that Broly can go to the Earth and fight the other Saiyans. Maybe he wants to even fight Vegeta in this movie instead of Goku, due to the fact that Vegeta's father was the one who banished Broly to a frontier planet, as opposed to stabbing him like in the original movie. So in this case, Frieza and Paragus are likely going to be manipulating Broly into fighting on their behalf, and then we see the Dragon Balls, so it's likely that Frieza is also trying to gather them once again so that he can have a wish granted. And then a really interesting shot, we see that Whis is on the same planet that we've seen Broly and Frieza on, and perhaps Broly in this case is going after Whis, but even if Broly is super powerful and maybe even stronger than a God of Destruction, I'm not too sure he could really stand much of a chance against Whis. But it would be cool to see him fight in this movie, although I have a feeling he's mostly there for reconnaissance. And then we see an interesting development as we see two Frieza Force members who I believe are named Chi-Lai or Lei-Chi and Limo, who happen to have some of the Dragon Balls in their possession, so it definitely seems like Frieza is coming to the planet and maybe using Broly as a distraction so that he could gather the Dragon Balls and grant his wish. Now what that wish is, whether it be for immortality or something else, is really up in the air, but I'm sure we're gonna find out in the movie. And then we see that Broly is powering up some big blasts in the sky and throwing them down at Super Saiyan Blue Goku, and then we see him chasing Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta at the same time, and you could tell that they're really banged up here because Goku has lost his shirt and he's all bloodied and bruised, and Vegeta's even lost his armor. And then we see Broly is charging up this massive blast or perhaps force field, and then Goku and Vegeta team up in what seems to be a Gallic Gun Kamehameha combo, which they fire at Broly. And that of course leads to the title screen. However, the trailer comes to an end as we see Broly powering up in his legendary Super Saiyan form and screaming and jumping at the camera. So there we have it. That was the new Dragon Ball Super Broly trailer, and I think it looks really good. The animation definitely looks great here, especially at certain shots like Broly as his legendary form, Super Saiyan God Vegeta, and a number of other shots. And the action, of course, looks like it's going to be really epic, which for a movie like this, I'm not surprised. That's going to be a big thing that they're definitely going to be pushing here. I'm sure if any of you guys have followed the production at all, you know what to expect from that, as they're getting some of the best animators they have on it. The only thing so far that I'm a little concerned about is the fact that we do see some shots of CGI, like Vegeta and Goku flying away from Broly in that final blast at the end, and I do wonder if that's going to be the climax, or if we're actually going to see something like Gogeta in this movie, which I think would be pretty cool. But this trailer didn't really offer that much in the way of story, aside from the fact that Whis seems to be going to the same planet that Broly and Frieza are fighting on, although it could very well be some of the damage on the Earth, and Whis is merely observing the fight. And it seems like Frieza is in fact searching for the Dragon Balls for some wish that we have yet to learn about. But overall, I think this was a good trailer that did its job of showing off the action and the animation, and likely hyping up the audience for what's to come. Is it the best trailer so far? I'm not too sure. I did really like the last trailer because I'm interested in the story that they're going to be telling about Broly, Vegeta, and Goku, and the fall of Planet Vegeta, which does seem like it's basically an adaptation of Dragon Ball Minus. However, one thing I'll say from these trailers is that they haven't really shown that much story is going to take place after Broly gets to the planet. It seems like it's more going to be like straight up action the entire time. Although there are some hints that Broly may not actually be fighting of his own volition, such as when they say that Broly isn't fighting because he wants to, and Goku says that he doesn't think that he's a bad guy. So maybe they're going the direction that Broly is once again being mind controlled by Paragus. However, unlike the original Broly, he isn't just insane and wants to fight non-stop, but rather it's a flip of what we saw before, and Paragus is using the technology to actually make him want to fight. Whereas before, that's all he seemed like he wanted to do. And while I'm not the biggest fan of the whole Broly is a mind-controlled monster gimmick, I do think that if he actually is doing it against his own will, and he's being controlled by other people, and if he were to take off that mind control device, he were to be like a more normal Saiyan, or someone who can make up his own mind, then that certainly adds a lot more depth to him than he had in the original version of the story. And it opens up a lot more possibilities for what he can do with his character, and how you could possibly develop him. And considering that Goku said that he doesn't really think he's a bad guy, I almost kind of wonder if they're trying to push in the direction that Broly can show up in the future and be some kind of ally to Goku and friends against even more powerful multiversal opponents in the future. Although that might be taking it a little bit too far. But if they do go in that direction, it even more enforces my belief that they should keep Broly alive after this movie is over, and they shouldn't just kill him off like most of the other Dragon Ball villains in the past, because after all the fanfare, all the hype, all the build-up, and bringing Broly back once again and rebooting him and making him quote-unquote canon, for them to just kill him off would feel like some pretty big wasted potential. So if they do that, you may very well be seeing another Broly wasted potential video from me in the future. Although I'm hoping that Toriyama will take full advantage of the potential of these characters, be it Broly or perhaps even Gogeta in this movie, and make this whole thing worth it by the time it's over. But again, I think this was a good trailer and it accomplished what it needed to do. Now I'm just interested to finally see this movie and see how it fares and how it compares to the previous movies in the Dragon Ball franchise. So let me know your own thoughts down below in the comments. Did you like this trailer? And which trailer do you think was the best so far? Also, if you're new to this channel, then make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so you can see all of my videos right away when they come out. And if you like this video, then make sure to stick around, because there's a lot more to come in the future.
Oh my muscular god, the gains of the Broly are incredibly insane! I can't wait to see him pose off against the Super Blooper Goku and the Prince Festival in the the upcoming Dragon Ball Super movie. Yeah, and you better subscribe, enable those damn notifications.